Okay, the next thing to figure out on this mechanical eraser is how to attach this part on the inside. Right now I'm holding this piece here with a piece of tape. It's great because it lets me figure out the right spring tension and where I want to place this. I can easily remove it and put it back on. But when I make these for production, I don't want it to be like that. The spring sits in here, and I have a couple of options. I can either do something to the tube that makes it larger so this doesn't go back, or I could do something to this brass piece. I'm thinking the first thing I want to try is putting an indentation in the brass piece that also indents the tube a little bit. That would hold it in place potentially. If I cut this tube and flare that piece out, I'd also be able to hold this brass piece in place, but it might weaken the tube a little bit. What I have set up here is a little test piece. I'm going to try just putting a dimple in the brass piece. And this is a little section of that tube, and we'll see how much damage is done to the tube. I just see if it holds on, see if there's too much damage. I have it on the end of this reamer, so hopefully the tube doesn't deform too much. And let's just hit it and find out. Well, hopefully I don't ruin. I'm surprised that did not hold it in place. Thought that would have deformed it enough. I guess I have to hit it harder. Okay, I have dimples all the way around, and it still moves on there. So the next thing is to make another one of these. I'm going to make it a little bit longer and make a section thinner, and then when I dimple it, the dimples should punch all the way through. Okay, I didn't make another one. I just took this thing that I tried in the past, previous design. It doesn't slide on all the way, but I can slide it on part way and see if this dimple will work when I have this hardened steel piece in here. That's really what I'm worried about, is that hardened steel piece is preventing deformation too much. Finally. Yeah, it won't work. I'm just not able to deform this little thin steel piece when I have this hardened rod on the inside. I'm not sure what to do. Okay, I'm going to try to clean this up a little bit so it's not quite as sharp. Good enough. Okay, and now I'm going to try to bend this piece out. One thing I didn't think about is I'm probably going to crush that. Let me try to... I'm going to support half of it. It's hard to do with such a small piece. Okay. Half supported with the steel rod, and then I'm going to bend it up. Actually, I wanted to bend it the other way, but now it's too late. That's all right. This should still get me answers. So the idea is that I don't deform things too much, that this doesn't go on. All right, cool. I got that on all the way, and it stops right there. That is pretty good. I'm loving the look of that. That's not too hard to do either. Let me just push it harder to see if it goes over. That's way harder than this spring would ever push on it. This isn't going to see that much force, and I was able to prevent it from sliding past. So I think that's going to be the method for now. I've seen a cool idea where they form the inside so there's a bulge facing outwards, just kind of a big donut ring here. I don't know how to form these stainless steel tubes, and plus I have to form I would have to form this stainless steel tube right here, which I don't know how I'm going to reach in there with something stiff enough to push out and form the metal. And I don't know how to do that. I don't know if I have the tools. If anybody knows, let me know. That might be an easier way to do it if I could do it on the lathe. But cutting it, bending it, not the worst thing in the world. Seems pretty reliable and sturdy. Again, this is just holding this spring back. So a piece of tape does fine short term. Like, it doesn't take that much force. Yeah, I think this is the solution. It's kind of similar to what I'm doing up here. This one doesn't have it. 1 second. All right, current plan up here as well is just to have dimples, and that holds this button in place and acts like a little bit of a spring. So I'll have these 2 holes up here, 1 hole right here to hold this piece in place, and that's that. Cool. Like this solution. Maybe there'll be easier ones in the future for CNC, but I don't have CNC, so I'm just gonna make this work the best way I can.